Hi, everybody. This is Jimmy. You're reading with Jimmy. This is Geoffrey Chaucer's The Summoner's Tale 10-minute quick take by Jimmy, subtitled Hypocrisy, Flatulence, and the Frailty of False Piety. Welcome, everybody. What if I told you that a medieval tale of religious hypocrisy ends not with a sermon, not with a miracle, but with a friar receiving a carefully aimed fart as a donation? Yes, a fart. That's the Summoner's Tale. This is a wildly crude, unapologetically vengeful story meant to humiliate the friar in front of the entire pilgrimage. This is the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. So these are a bunch of pilgrims traveling together, and they're each telling stories. And this is the Summoner's Tale about a friar. The friar told a story about a summoner, so it's only right that the summoner get his revenge. So this is a quick take 10-minute insight. So when you go and read the story with Jimmy, you get a little more appreciation of it. You ready? Let's explore this hilariously crude and angry tale. Ready? Well, the summoner is furious after being portrayed as a corrupt soul snatcher in the friar's tale, so he hits back with a vengeance. So the setting, it's a small medieval village where a wealthy but a sick man is bedridden and the friar goes door to door begging for donations and prayers. The main characters include the friar. He's actually in the tale. He's a smooth-talking, greedy churchman who flatters and manipulates the sick and dying for money. Pardon me. And then there's Thomas. He's the wealthy, ill guy who is sick of friars asking for handouts, but he has a plan to give them what they deserve. And then there's Thomas's wife, frustrated, overworked. She has a child who dies. She's heard that the friar's false promises before, and she knows all about his talk. So here's the plot. The friar visits Thomas, claims he's been praying for him, and gives him a long-winded sermon on the virtues of giving. He flatters Thomas and demands a generous gift, insisting that it will speed his recovery. Thomas, however, fed up, says he doesn't have a gift. Well, he does have a gift, but it's hidden, and the friar must promise to share it equally with the other friars in his order. Oh, that's great. The friar agrees. So Thomas lifts his robe and farts loudly right into the friar's hands. He says, "Put your hands there," and he farts into it. Oh, humiliated, enraged, the friar runs to a local lord to complain, and the lord's squire, however, takes the moment to mock him further and the ridiculous solution for how to divide a fart. How do you divide a fart? The tale ends with the friar utterly defeated by gas logic and his own greed. Now, I have to forewarn you that the Theodore Morrison translation doesn't have the entire tale, but it's got enough of it to give you an idea of what the hell's going on. So, what's the big deal? Well, the summoner flips the script. In the friar's tale, a summoner was dragged to hell, but now he tells a tale that pulls no punches. Nuck, nuck. This is a satire. It's most physical and direct, bodily humor, but sharp. It's a sharp critique. It exposes false piety, clerical greed, spiritual manipulation, and it does so not with lofty language, but with laughter. You will laugh at this tale when you read it with Jimmy. What are some of the themes? Well, hypocrisy and greed. The friar talks about charity, but he's really after coin. He wants money. He claims to pray for the sick, but he offers nothing concrete. And the narrator exposes how religious language can hide selfish motives. Remember, this is an anonymous narrator telling us what the summoner tells us about the friar. Very complex narration. But if you read Sir Topaz with me, that'll explain the value of an anonymous narrator. There's also the power of satire. Instead of an argument, the summoner uses ridicule to destroy the friar's image. We see the power of laughter to shame and strip away false holiness. Justice by humiliation. Thomas's revenge may be crude, but it feels earned. It's the right thing to do. Thus, a fart becomes symbolic. You came looking for a gift? Well, here's what you got. Jimmy, in his analysis of this tale, talks about flatulence. Words versus actions. The friar words are long and polished, but they're useless. Thomas's action is immediate and unforgettable. If you've ever gotten, no, well, no, we won't go there. The friar tries to manipulate people, assuming their ignorance, but Thomas, even with the Lord Squire, outwit him at every turn. So why does this matter today? Why the heck do we care about a tale that's so old? I mean, this is medieval literature. Well, spiritual hypocrisy still provokes outrage. The friar is a kind of a person who hides his selfishness behind a smile and a sermon. So happy to see you. And we still do that, don't we? False humility. The friar pretends to be poor, but demands the richest gifts. Wait till you read about what he wants to eat. When his wife says, "Would you like me to prepare you a meal?" "Oh, no, no, you read let Jimmy tell you. Read with Jimmy." The tale skewers this performance and let us laugh at it. And satire still stings, whether it's political cartoons or when the truth is told, sometimes it hurts, doesn't it? Power doesn't like to be mocked. That's true then as it is true now. The friar expects respect, but instead he gets a fart and ridicule. Can you think of anything worse than a fart? Wow. That's the ultimate insult, isn't it? You come for a good gift, you want to give a good gift. Well, here, take that. Jimmy will tell you a story in the analysis, a true story about what happened in a grade school incident. Please read it with Jimmy. The reversal of power still resonates. And finally, bodily humor still works. Yes, fart jokes they may be lowbrow, but they're pretty powerful. No, no pun intended, right? They serve a moral purpose. Calling all readers. That's the Summoner's Tale in 10 minutes. But don't just take the 10-minute version. Come on down and read it with Jimmy. You're on his website, readingwithjimmy.com. Go to YouTube. That's where all the tales reside. We're getting more and more followers. This is great. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. And next up, we're going to explore the Merchant's Tale or pick a pilgrim of your choice. We have a lot of Canterbury tales on this website. So here's the thought to think about. When satire lands harder than a sermon, what does it say about the preacher? By the way, if you want to read a really, really good tale about a preacher who really takes to heart what he does, right? The Minister's Black Veil by Nathaniel Hawthorne, which is also on Jimmy's website. Thanks for listening. Before you go, remember readingwithjimmy.com. It's also on my YouTube channel. That QR code will scan you and take you right to the YouTube channel. And remember, with everything I read out loud together, because remember, we read to learn how others lead their life and how to lead our own. With everything I read, you're going to read a comprehensive analysis at the end of each tale. Some of these tales require more than one analysis. You see, they're very complex. Some of the stories we read on my website require more. There's Guy de Maupassant, there's Fyodor Dostoevsky, right? Nathaniel Hawthorne, as I mentioned, Ernest Hemingway, lots and lots and lots to choose from. Thanks for being here. And remember, be careful what you ask for. Uh-huh.